Where do you stand on it? Because I've heard time and time again people that I've interviewed from Israel saying, look, this is a pie-in-the-sky idea. It's only the West that's hanging on to it. Here in Israel, we realise that's not a possibility. But on the other hand, I wonder if it is not a two-state solution, then what is the solution? 0345 6060 973. Samantha in Elstree in Hertfordshire. Hello.
Hiya. I would just like to say that I have always hoped for a two-state solution. Currently, I don't think that's possible. I'm Jewish and I have friends, family in Israel, and I've always hoped for a two-state solution. Since October the 7th, that is absolutely not possible whilst Hamas are in charge. They need to be dismantled for it to take any kind of hope for that to happen. And the reason why is on October 7th, Hamas and Palestinians managed to make their way 23 kilometres into Israel to cause the atrocities that they did. If they had been living in the West Bank when this had happened, with Hamas in charge, they would have made their way into central Tel Aviv. They would have had access to so many more Israelis. The atrocities would have been 100 times worse. And until they have a governing body, the Palestinians have a governing body who don't have the want and need to kill Jews in their charter, there is no way that Israel will allow a two-state solution. And I totally agree with that, because I want the Palestinians to have their own state. I want them to have the freedom that the Israelis have. But that's not possible when they have a governing body who educate their children to hate Jewish people as much as they do.
Well, I don't want to get into that because that takes us down a whole road of, well, are the Israelis doing the same? I'd like to just stick to the issue of a two-state solution.
Are the Israelis doing the same about what, sorry?
Well, because I don't want to get into the back and forth of that. I hear that all the time. But can I ask you then, did you just hear Yossi Belan? Did you hear the interview with Yossi Belan?
Yes, I did.
So he makes the point that right now Israel is in the throes of grief and both sides are in the throes of hatred. But he says this will pass. This time will pass. And if it's not a two-state solution, then what is the solution? Have you had thoughts on that?
Well, I have. And I do agree that the two-state solution is the only solution. But the only way it will work is if they have a governing body who doesn't hate Jews. It's that simple. If you don't want the murder of Jews, you can have two peaceful peoples living together. We have that in Israel. Arabs and Jews have lived together for years and years peacefully. I've been there multiple times. It's possible. I know it's possible. But what's not possible is if you're growing up from a young age to hate a certain nation, a certain group of people, that will never work. It will never work.
If you say that Jews and Arabs live peaceably within the state of Israel now, why not then advocate for a one-state solution where Gaza and the West Bank become fully fledged members of a greater Israeli state, and everybody lives, as you say they do, currently in Israel, in a peaceable manner?
Because right now, people growing up in Israel are not indoctrinated to hate Jewish people, and that's the problem. It's too much of a risk right now. You have too many people in there.
You keep saying this, Samantha, and I tell you,
Have you seen the evidence?
Listen, I know about this evidence, and I've also seen that evidence dismantled on several occasions.
Have you seen children's TV shows? If you go on YouTube right now,
I'll tell you what, I've seen exactly what you're talking about, which is stuff on social media. I've also seen social media of Israeli soldiers writing the most appalling things, treating Palestinian civilians in appalling ways, of Israeli youth putting out appalling anti-Palestinian social media videos. So there's no point in trading who hates more whom and accusing one side of indoctrinating children when clearly there's evidence on both sides. What I'm talking about now is peace. So answer the question that I've put to you. You say that Muslims and Jews live peaceably and happily and equally currently in the state of Israel. The logical conclusion of that is that you should then I would argue, be wholly behind a greater state of Israel where all Muslims and Jews, including those Palestinians that live in the West Bank and in Gaza, can live equally, side by side, with their rights respected in a greater state of Israel. So that's the one.
And that I agree with. But what I'm trying to explain is
so you
that
believe in a one-state solution then?
I'm saying I would have, if it weren't for the fact that there is threats against Jewish people every single day, then then it's a completely different situation. If you're in Tel Aviv right now...
But currently, the people that are being bombed en masse are the Palestinians in Gaza, Samantha.
You're asking me questions. I'm trying to explain. In Tel Aviv right now, a Muslim and a Jew can go shopping together and have a lovely time. If a Jewish person walks into Gaza right now, they are dead in seconds. If I walk in right now, I am dead. It's that simple. A Muslim person can live freely, happily. They can work. They have the same rights as Jewish people. It's not the same in Gaza. That's what I'm trying to explain, because they hate Jewish people that much. Muslim people aren't killed the second they walk into Israel.
Samantha, let me come back on that, because I have to say your portrayal of life as a Muslim in Israel is not the portrayal of life as a Muslim that I have come across when I have spoken to Muslims in Israel. I think you're painting a picture that is rosy.
I think you're very... Have you been to Israel?
Yes, I have been to Israel.
So why are you?
And I stayed in East Jerusalem, and I spoke to lots of Muslims, and I spoke to Israelis, and I would say your characterization of life as a Muslim in Israel is optimistic.
I think you're very, very wrong. I really do. I have friends that live in Israel. I have Muslim friends that live in Israel. They would not say under any circumstances they are treated any lesser than the Jewish friends that I have that live there.
I think we're going to have to agree to disagree. Samantha and Elsie, I appreciate your call anyway. Thank you very much indeed.